So, a watch this is linked to Thailand and Buddhism. A watch linked to Thailand and Buddhism, not the bosoms. That is this. This is the NAMO GMT. What is that all about? How can a watch have connections to Buddhism and Thailand? That's what we're going to go into today. So, yeah, let's have a closer look. So let's get straight into introducing you to this watch. This will be available on Kickstarter. I'm just going to pop up here on the left all the prices. So it's going to be, if you are really early at getting involved with this watch, the super early bird will be £210. Then the early bird will be £220. Kickstarter price is £230, and the recommended retail on this bad boy is £279.99. So that's give you a ballpark of what we're looking at. So less than £300 for a micro brand GMT watch with a Swiss made case, all that stuff. While I'm enjoying my coffee, I'm just going to have a chat with you guys about the stats and specs so you can get an idea of what you're looking at with this watch. Movement inside the Ronda 515-24. So quartz Ronda, reliable, accurate, really easy maintenance, just a battery change every 3 to 5 years, nice and easy. Now the case on this is stainless steel. Dimensions are, it's a 41.5mm case size, 12.5mm thick, including that domed AR undercoated sapphire crystal. It's 47mm long. 22mm lugs. The bracelet tapers about 2mm down to a fully milled clasp with loads of micro adjusts on there. And there's 100 meters water resist, which is something I'm going to go into a little bit more detail again later, why it's been clever that he's managed to achieve that with what is built into this watch, which is a 120 click bi-directional bezel. And I'll show you again what that is all about with this, why it's unique and different on this piece. And the case, because it's so complex, was made in Switzerland. It's a Swiss developed case because it's quite complex to get that inner rotating chapter ring to work. Colours available will be black, grey and royal blue. This one, even though it's supposed to be royal blue, it's actually more of a purple colour under many different light conditions, so that is quite cool. Let's get into what is unique about this watch first. You know the stats and specs, you know what GMT, how that works is you've got the second hand here, that lovely aquamarine blue, working with this lovely, also loomed 24-hour chapter ring in here. This is clever because that is loomed, so it complements all the BGW9 you get on the rest of the hands and the indices. It lasts really well. There's a quick time lapse to help you out. It is good BGW9 loom on there. So I think is a must for a versatile, go anywhere, do anything watch, which I definitely would put this in that category of a everyday piece. Date complication as well, which is very practical. But the thing I'm going to get straight into now is what is unique. You see here, you've got all the different countries. I live in the London time zone, so I will leave at the 12 o'clock London. People all around the world aren't going to all be from London, are they? So you're an adventurer, you live from one country and you travel to the next. What is your base country that you live in? That's where this comes in. You rotate this in bi-directions, lovely feel, very clicky, 120 clicks. Not that that's actually relevant, you actually need to line up. So let's say I live in a Bangkok, there you go, that's my time zone I live in. I'll leave it on that. So that's my time zone. And then you can then change and adjust the other hand here for a different time zone. Turn it this way, sorry. This way. So if you want to choose your other time zone to be, say, the UK, and you change the hour hand to what the time is in the UK, you do it that way. So you just turn that around and you go, well, my cross reference is right now in Bangkok, it's 10:32, and my other time zone I want to refer to, I will set it according to this inner time ring here. Pretty straightforward. But why is it clever? What is different? Often when you have an inner rotating chapter ring and a watch to still be water resistant, they often put a second crown on. See this here? This is a sort of a locked off segment. It's part of the way this has been designed and have a mechanism to allow for this to still have 100 meters water resistance, which is very versatile, will cover most people for most activities. To have you rotate something which has an inner part which is displaying, rather than normally when you rotate something on the outside, it's totally separate to the inner workings of a watch. It's just got something written on the outside. It doesn't matter, it's just literally clicked in place and there's nothing to do with the integrity of the water resistance. Because when you turn this, something underneath the glass is turning, that's going to impede potentially its water resistance. Hence this clever integrated second crown design, which has been locked off and hidden here to allow for that water resistance and you to have this rotating part here, which is very clever. I've never seen that before, and I think that is definitely a unique selling point, which adds to the versatility of this watch as a adventuring, time traveling device. What I'm going to chat with you now about is a tiny bit of backstory to why Thailand and Buddhism. Firstly, those two things are intertwined. But Lewis, the guy that basically has founded NAMO and has done everything, is a one-man band for getting this watch to where it is now. This is a pre-production model, which is effectively exactly how it's going to be if you buy one on Kickstarter. He fell in love with Thailand and Buddhism and wanted to do a watch which celebrates travel, religion, culture, all that stuff. How do you do that into a watch? And this is what he's designed and created. The few cool things I'm going to run through now is the name NAMO, that effectively is linked to the first word of a important prayer to Buddha. The logo, this symbol itself, is called the unalone. Forgive my pronunciation. And the unalone is a symbol that depicts the path to enlightenment, which I think is something we would all like to do. I know I would like to be enlightened in life. And then we go to the case back, which what we've got on here is a Hanuman, which is the king of monkeys. And what he symbolises, this king, is a warrior and guardian. So I just like the beautiful bit of artwork on the back there, and it's just a reminder of symbolism and culture which has inspired the creation of this timepiece. And that makes me think a bit more about religion and culture, travel. This is something we can all do a bit more now. We can all get back out there and explore the world. What's awesome is if you can get a watch which symbolises that, and you can bring on your adventures as an affordable piece, something you can travel with and not worry about. It's got the reliability and accuracy and really easy to use, and it looks pretty as well. And to say you're wearing a piece which has been inspired by a country and some religion is really lovely. And I think that is a unique twist on what we normally see with GMT watches or travel watches, because I personally love travel, and it's something which I feel does lead to enlightenment. I think if you travel and explore the world and open your mind to different parts of the world and different cultures and religions and people, that can really enrich your spirit and your soul. And wearing a watch is strangely something that can remind you of that, as time is something we all share together, regardless of religion or faith or where you're from. Time is something we all share, and there's a clever little blend of things which I really like. So is the watch itself well made? Is it any good? Well, straight off the bat, yes it is. I mean, I'm going to show you now the case side's got a lovely vertical brushing, no sharp edges anywhere, it's really smoothly done. The finishing is extremely good. A lovely female end link, so the length of this watch isn't too long anyway, but it's just going to wear well on many wrist sizes. It looks bigger than it is because of that small dial in relation to the size of the case, but I like that. It makes it sort of look like a bit of a vortex, shrinking down as you go in. It really draws your eye into the watch. Those lovely big bold applied indices with buckets of lumen there really stand out and really jump off of that gorgeous sunburst dial. And with the contrast of this ring here with all the different countries, it's a really interesting watch. It's complicated without looking fussy. Yeah, and the brushing overall everywhere is really smooth. Get a nice grip on this bezel, really nice feel and action both ways. Then the bracelet itself, tiny taper on there. I would like to see a bit more of a stronger taper. 2mm, you barely notice it, but because it looks quite heavy on the wrist, I'll just show you. Got a nice big chunk. Sorry, see I'm wearing my watch too tight. You got a big chunky clasp on here with loads of micro adjusts, so you're not going to have any troubles getting this to fit you. Again, the lovely symbol on there and the logo, very tastefully, neatly done. Interesting but very simple bracelet. Push pins for adjusting and sizing up, really straightforward. Milled clasp, really good. God, that looks awful. I don't wear my watches that tight. I didn't notice, but anyway. Yeah, it's a very nice, lightweight, comfortable watch. As you can see, I'm glad it's got female end links. So I have a 7¼ inch wrist, and this looks like it fills my wrist nicely. But that immediate drape of the bracelet works really well. Mostly brushed on this watch, almost everywhere is brushed, which I think is good for a tall watch. It's not a dressy piece by any means, but the brushing has been done really well. Really smooth, consistent, gives this watch a lovely satin sheen, really pretty, and allows the gorgeous dial to pop. It really does. I think I like that. When you've got a very satin looking watch and then the dial pops, it really helps it stand out very well. Nice large crown with good, very chunky crown guards in there. It's not screwed down, which is totally fine because 100 meters water resistance is still fine. Nice smooth pop of the crown. Like I said, you've got the crown adjustment for the second time zone and the date wheel. Don't feel any clicks as you're turning it. It's very light. And then the time adjust is again very light and straightforward, and the hands align perfectly, which is what I always check as well. Now, if you're in the budget or in the market for less than £300, closer to 200 if you're a super early bird, this is a really nice watch. I know it's a quartz, but you'd have to spend nearly double this for a mechanical GMT watch. Being a micro brand, you've got something with a bit of personal history, personal flair thrown into it. It's got a bit more soul to it because of the story behind it effectively, and that's what you're paying for. And it's interesting to have all these little links. But if you're not into Thailand or Buddhism, you might be like, well, why should I care about this watch? Personally, I think it's down to just simply reminding you of there's a big old world out there, and the whole excitement of having a GMT watch is, are you a traveller? Do you wish to travel? This is a watch which embodies that ethos of exploration, expanding one's mind, enlightenment, of course. That's where I think this watch is special and unique enough to draw your attention. So has Lewis conjured up a new subculture within watches and within horology? Could this be the beginnings of something new, thinking maybe religious themed watches? Now, I am not a religious man, but of those of you who are, I think there are many millions. What if they developed one that was the Jesus watch? What if we had something that had the symbol of Christ on the dial, the cross, and it had the face of Jesus on the case back? It was a dive watch, obviously, to attend with the many different adventures that Jesus went on, walking on water. Let's say his powers failed one day and he fell in, he'd need water resistance. Many different things could be incorporated into a Christian themed watch if you wanted to do that. So is this Buddhism, Thailand themed watch something new? Is this something that could spark a whole generation of watches that link to culture with more depth? I'm not even joking. I think it's a very clever idea and something that we could look forward to maybe things being tapped into rather than just different dial variations and coloured designs. Let's incorporate more of culture. Now that's where I think this watch is definitely unique and something I would like you to maybe check out. Go and see the NAMO Watches website. The link will of course be in the description. And as this is just an introduction and the watch isn't currently available for sale, let Lewis know what you actually think. Feedback is hugely welcome, and I would like to just have a chat with you about this kind of theme and this culture as well. So just drop a few comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, because my son has set me a challenge. He wants me to get a silver play button. He says, how many subscribers have you got, Daddy? I said, I've got about 12,000 as of recording. He goes, well, that's not very many. And I said, well, it is actually, son. If you saw 12,000 people standing in front of you, you'd be quite impressed. But he said, no, I would like to see you have 100,000. So somehow we're going to get there. Not just for me, but for my son. So yeah, hit the old subscribe button and you'll see more of my content, which is incredibly varied, and I hope you enjoy it. That's enough of my waffly outro. I'll see you, hopefully, in the next one. Bye for now.